Is it a hard balance? Because obviously, as athletes, what you weigh, the fat composition, skin fold test, it's all a fairly significant part of it. How do you balance that then with making sure that you're not damaging young people who are vulnerable?
There's certainly, I suppose, an element of where a body composition does belong in sport, but in my experience being a young athlete in particular, you're quite impressionable when you're 16 or 17 years old and beginning a sport. And before you know it, you're in this bubble of high performance sport. And, it's little things about like the language and the culture and the environment that you're surrounded by every single day that can slowly chip away at your self-confidence, particularly when it comes to body image. And so it's really important to be able to protect that and to be able to mitigate that as much as we can and protect these athletes that are coming through the system so that they don't have, long-term health benefits related to their sport, because I suppose we all want to remember why we begin sport in the first place. And first and foremost, it is enjoyment.
What was your lowest point, do you think?
I think it was certainly probably when I was at the AIS, and that's what I referenced in my article, because I was fresh out of high school and just joined this high performance swimming program and was given all of this wonderful information on how to become the best athlete that I could. And I think me being quite impatient, I wanted to win a gold medal as quickly as I could. And I did that and approached that in a very unhealthy way. And there just wasn't an education piece around I suppose, long-term effects on nutrition, whether it was with the athlete or with the coach or with management. But we're seeing a really positive change in sport. Just yesterday, Swimming Australia launched their disordered eating policies and guidelines to help mitigate the risk of disordered eating within young athletes. But it's just a real concern that is always going to be there. And we just have to be very gentle with how we approach that with our language and our environment.
Yeah, it's terrifying because every day young Australians, men and women, struggle immensely with their body image. An athlete, that must be just compounded tenfold. Do you think this decision by Swimming Australia is genuine or box ticking?
I think it is genuine. I think you'd be forgiven to believe that it's a knee-jerk reaction to an article that came out on Wednesday, but this has been in the process since 2015. They're very genuine with the concerns. I think they're very genuine with understanding the power imbalances that can exist between coaches and athletes. And they do want to make the experience of sport very, very positive for that athlete. And so, we have some wonderful people within the organisation of Swimming Australia who are doing everything that they can to mitigate the risks, but they will always be there. But, unless we speak about it, I think that they're just, not going to be addressed in the way that they need to be. So I think that was really the purpose of the article on Wednesday.
You're doing a brilliant job. This line really struck me, and I'm reading because I want to make sure I get it right. I sometimes wonder if I would have become an athlete if I was able-bodied, and I don't think I would have, because I wouldn't have had to prove myself so much in those early years. That makes you emotional, hearing that back.
There's just a lot to unpack there. I think if you think about what disability was like in particular in the early 1990s, when I lost my leg, my parents' biggest concern was the opportunities that I wouldn't have as opposed to my twin sister growing up because I had a disability. And so to be able to use sport and see sport as this really wonderful platform and to be hurt by it ultimately at the end of the day was really heartbreaking, but it has given me a lot of wonderful, wonderful things. And I know that the athletes that are going to be training for Brisbane 2032 are going to have a very different story to tell.
What is in store for you now? What next?
I am so excited. Well, firstly, I've been retired for 6 months from swimming, and I'm very much enjoying.
You're far too young to be retired.
I am so excited about the opportunities that are out there for athletes who are transitioning into the corporate world. Working very closely with my sponsors still.
Give them a plug, because the fact they've stuck with you once you've retired is a really good thing.
Optus and Toyota have been standing by me for a very, very long time. APM as well, which have been incredible in teaching me on diversity inclusion outside of sport as well. But my biggest dream is to be the chef de mission of the 2032 Paralympic team. So
I love that.
I'm putting it out there right now. I really want to be able to be part of the team again, but on the other side of the fence, and make sure that the environment for athletes is as wonderful as it was when Kate McLaughlin was our chef de mission for our Paralympic team. She made my experience in Tokyo and Rio so incredible. So I want to be able to do the same thing for athletes.
I'm going to get this tape, label it, and put it somewhere away, because I'm sure as hell probably won't still do this. Hopefully it will be, yeah, and we'll bring it back out. Thank you so very much. I think you've done an incredible job, and your article was really eye-opening. And I think that athletes here in Australia will have a better experience off the back of your incredible efforts and speaking out, because it's brave to do so.
Thank you
Ellie
so
Cole,
much.
thank you so much. Really appreciate it.